It's actually happening as Gabriel Landeskog, the captain of the Colorado Avalanche, who has not played a game since 2022 for his Avs team, is finally almost game ready and just about ready to suit up for the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs and put on that Avs sweater for the first time since Colorado won their most recent Stanley Cup in 2022. Getting Landy back in the lineup has massive implications in which the locker room will be fired up to have him playing with the team again and skating in the playoffs. And for the fans, imagine the atmosphere in Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. 18,000 people walking into that barn ready to watch Landy take the ice for the first time since 2022, and it'll be in the setting of a playoff game against the Dallas Stars. We're going to dive into all the latest news around Gabriel Landeskog and the Colorado Avalanche today right here on Avalanche Digest. But before we dive into today's news and today's video, I want to remind you to make sure that you're subscribed to your #1 daily source for Colorado Avalanche news right here on Avalanche Digest. We give you all the latest, most relevant, most notable news in the Colorado Avalanche, and we give it to you daily. Look at this stat here. Only 35% of you that are subscribed to that are watching Avalanche Digest videos are subscribed to Avs Digest, as compared to 65% of you are tuning in, watching Avs Digest, getting your daily Avs news here at Avs Digest, but you're not subscribed. So exit out of that video, click subscribe, get yourself set up and ready to go for all the latest Colorado Avalanche news right here on Avalanche Digest. It's completely free, and it is the best place for your daily Colorado Avalanche news and updates. So let's dive into the most recent development around the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, after being loaned to the AHL affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche, the Colorado Eagles, for a 3-game conditioning stint. He had back-to-back point nights playing for the Eagles, in which both games the Eagles were able to come out with a win, and the second night he scored his first professional hockey goal since 2022, when the Avs were playing in the playoffs and would ultimately go on to win the Stanley Cup against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So after a 3-game conditioning stint, fully practicing, fully playing with the Colorado Eagles, his conditioning loan has been terminated and he has rejoined the Colorado Avalanche. This was this morning, where he suited up in a blue uniform for practice and did a full-on practice with the remainder of the team. Notable as well that it was not required for Landeskog to attend the practice. It was an optional practice for Nathan MacKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, and the captain himself, Gabriel Landeskog, but he decided he wanted to be there and continue to try to get playoff game ready, because over the last few months here, we've seen Landeskog start to inch closer and closer to being playoff ready and game ready, as we've seen a lot of developments in his practicing, being loaned to the Colorado Eagles, looking great wearing the Eagles sweater and playing with the AHL affiliate of the Avs, and he's now back with the team and ready to get as dialed in as he possibly can for the Colorado Avalanche, who face the Dallas Stars in the first round of the playoffs in just under a week here. The season has concluded for Colorado. They won their last regular season game against the Anaheim Ducks. We'll dive into that game in a second, because the performance of the team in that game and the implications that that has for playoffs is quite notable and important as well. But to have Gabe Landeskog doing well off of his conditioning stint and back practicing with the team is absolutely huge. So Jared Bednar spoke with the media after practice today. Now that the season is concluded, all 82 games are marked and done for the Colorado Avalanche, and he said that the team is hopeful that they'll be able to go into Game 1 with a fully healthy lineup, and he'll have some clarity after tomorrow's practice. But the biggest piece of this quote that is very relevant is that does, in fact, include the captain, Gabe Landeskog. We're finally starting to feel like, as a team, as a fan base, as a coaching staff, the captain himself, Gabriel Landeskog, is as healthy as he can be and game ready, as the Avs are looking to slot him into the lineup with the playoffs coming right around the corner, with the Avs facing the Stars in the first round. And it's not just Landeskog that plays such a huge piece in this quote. It's a known fact all around the NHL that the Avs have had the most Band-Aid roster all season long. They have had players in and out of the roster, injured, hurt, and unable to play for the entire season. They've cycled in the most players in and out of their lineup out of the entire league. And at one point, they had a third-line defenseman slotting in as a fourth-line center because they were so shy on people to suit up and play for the Avs. So for this team to have a fully healthy roster, everyone feeling playoff ready and ready to buzz and go for this first round matchup against the Dallas Stars is massive. So the team is going to have really high morale coming into this playoff series. Obviously, the topic around the Dallas Stars and seeing them in playoffs, especially considering that they have the all-time record in playoffs against the Avs and the burn of a loss that we had against the Stars in Game 6 double overtime, where the former Av Matt Duchene scored to move the Stars to the Western Conference Final. This has this team, this front office, and these fans fired up and ready to go for this matchup. It's obviously a known fact that the Colorado Avalanche are one of the strongest teams in the West, and the West is going to be an extremely large jumble of playoffs in its own, considering the fact that most of the strongest teams in the NHL right now, period, come out of the Western Conference, and the Avs being one of those strongest teams, they have to get through the Dallas Stars, which is also one of the hands-down strongest teams in the Central. But for them to be able to go in and do that with an electric firepower for the playoffs, their captain back in an Avs sweater, lacing him up and taking the ice for the first time since they lifted Lord Stanley 3 years ago, and a fully healthy roster, that is all the more reason for this team to be fired up and ready to go when they face Dallas in the first round of the playoffs coming up soon here. Here's a look at the locker room this morning. Gabe Landeskog, he is fully set and ready to go for the playoffs. It's starting to become more and more of a reality that he is going to be suiting up and getting this team and this fan base absolutely fired up for what's going to be a very tough first round matchup, but a matchup that I believe the Avs can handle and get through. And once they get through the Dallas Stars, they should be able to cruise their way to hopefully another run at a Stanley Cup final. We take a look at the projected Avalanche lineup for Game 1 versus Dallas. A reminder that Dallas does have home ice in that series. We will start the series in Dallas, and then we'll come back to Colorado after the first two games. But it's looking like Lehkonen, MacKinnon, and Nichushkin will be on the first line. Jonathan Drouin, Nelson, and Marty Necas on the second line. Landeskog, Charlie Coyle, and Ross Colton on the third line. And Yoel Kiviranta, Jack Drury, and Logan O'Connor on the fourth line. Of course, the most electric D pair in the league, Taze and Makar at the first D line, Girard and Manson, followed by Lindgren and Malinsky. And of course, the lumberyard themselves, Blackwood and Wedgwood, as the two goalies between the pipes for the Avs for this coming playoff series. But we just go back to those forwards lineup just to read Gabe Landeskog's name as a fan, as a teammate, if you're a part of the front office, to see him slotted in the lineup again and as someone that is actually going to be skating, playing, and producing with his Colorado Avalanche team, regardless of the way that he plays, regardless of how well he does with the team early in the playoffs or how much ice time that he's seeing from head coach Jared Bednar, just to have him back on the ice wearing that C, it is going to have the team absolutely gassed and ready to go for this playoff matchup against the Dallas Stars, arguably one of the biggest rivals of the Colorado Avalanche in this modern day of the NHL. And not to mention that behind the fact that Gabriel Landeskog is suiting up, getting ready to play, just the fact that this team is healthy, fired up, and ready to go. They are excited and eager to get this playoff run going, and I think that there is a switch in this Colorado Avalanche team that is about to be turned on, and a absolutely electric playoff run is ahead of us for the Colorado Avalanche in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs.